Hi everyone, today we'll be going through your novel book called My Father's Dragon. I'll be summarizing and breaking up each chapter, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding of the novel after this lesson. So first we'll briefly talk about the author. Ruth Stiles Gannett is an American children's author of the 20th century who is widely known for her illustrated and adventurous short stories. We'll be going through one of her famous stories today. The author often writes about adventure, as the main character typically undergoes a physical journey, as well as a journey of self-discovery. Friendship and companionship are key themes that emerge from the author's stories. Along the way, characters are confronted with challenges which they must overcome. Now I'll briefly go through each of the chapters in the story. In this first chapter, the reader is introduced to the main protagonist, a young boy known as Elmer Elevator. Elmer is often described by the author as my father. This first chapter describes a meeting between Elmer and an old cat, and after welcoming the cat into his home, Elmer expresses a desire to fly. The cat knows of a way that will allow Elmer to fly and begins telling him a story of how it traveled to a place called Wild Island. Continuing from the last chapter, the cat begins describing Wild Island and the animals on the island. The cat tells Elmer about a baby dragon who fell from the sky and was forced to carry passengers to and from the island. The cat suggests that Elmer visits Wild Animal to try and rescue the dragon. Elmer decides to run away from the dogs, and with the help of the cat, who is too old to travel, Elmer is able to secretly board a ship bound for the island of Tangerina, which is near the Wild Island. This chapter makes the beginning of Elmer's journey of adventure as he heads towards an unknown place. In this part of the story, the ship that Elmer is on arrives at a port called Cranberry on the island of the Tangerina. To avoid being detected by the ship's crew, Elmer hides himself as a bag of dried corn and is successfully unloaded onto the dock without being suspected. Once the ship leaves, Elmer walks along the shore to find a place to sleep. And the next chapter talks about spending the night on the island of Tangerina and Elmer picking up some tangerines for his trips before embarking to find Wild Island. Along the beach, Elmer meets a fisherman who warns him of the dangerous journey and the risks of going to Wild Island, as everyone in the island has been eaten by wild animals. Determined to continue his journey, Elmer travels throughout the night before finally reaching the Wild Island. In this chapter, Elmer remembers that the dragon is supposed to be near a river and tries to find that river. Along the way, Elmer encounters various wild animals, such as a mouse, 2 wild boars, and 2 tortoises. Each time, Elmer narrowly avoids being discovered by the animals who do not like trespassers on the island. After these experiences, Elmer learns that he must be more cautious on his journey to not alarm the animals of his presence. After walking all night and the next morning, Elmer eventually reaches the river. Once he's at the river, Elmer realizes it is very wide and muddy. Due to the difficulties of walking along the swampy river bank, Elmer is forced to walk in the jungle. As he travels deeper into the jungle, Elmer comes into a clearing where 7 tigers surround him in a big circle. Threatening to eat him, the tigers are tricked by Elmer as they are handed chewing gum and told they must chew for a long time so that they are able to grow chewing gum plants. In this way, Elmer encounters his first challenge and is able to run away by using his brain to think of a smart plan. So the next chapter is also about Elmer encountering with another animal. So throughout his journey, Elmer continually avoids running into the 2 wild boars who remain suspicious of a trespasser on the island. While hiding, Elmer accidentally runs into a rhinoceros, who picks up Elmer using his tusk. Realizing the rhinoceros is upset about his current dirty yellow-grey tusk, which was pearly white when he was younger, Elmer comes up with another idea that allows him to escape. After helping the rhinoceros regain his beautiful white tusk back by scrubbing it with toothpaste, Elmer is able to continue his journey safely. Meanwhile, the wild animals are still determined to find the trespasser. The next chapter is about Elmer encountering with another problem, this time in the form of a lion, so there is a depiction right here. After leaving the rhinoceros, Elmer runs into a lion who threatens to eat Elmer. The lion expresses his frustration with his knotted mane, and Elmer helps the lion comb and braid his mane. Once the lion is distracted, Elma is able to escape and continue his journey to find the dragon. After stopping to eat, Elma overhears the two boars complaining about the trespasser on the island and realizes he must quickly find the dragon before the other animals reach him. On his way to the dragon ferry, Elma meets a fierce gorilla who is guarding the dragon, so you can see that right here. When the gorilla begins to scratch because of the fleas on his chest, Elma gives 6 small monkeys with magnifying glasses so that they are able to see the fleas and help the gorilla remove them. By preoccupying and distracting the gorilla, Elma is able to continue towards the river. Elma soon reaches a sign that details how to summon the dragon. However, since this involves either hurting the dragon or alarming the gorilla, Elma begins to think of another solution to reach the dragon. Realizing he must cross the riverbank, Elma meets some crocodiles and offers them lollipops if they line up for him across the river. Acting as a bridge, the crocodiles allow Elma to walk on their backs so that he is able to reach the other side of the bank. In this final chapter, the other wild animals spot Elma and begin to chase after him. The dragon quickly alerts Elma to where he is and he's eager to be rescued. Elma begins cutting the thick rope around the dragon's neck, aware of the limited time he has before the wild animals stop him. After freeing the dragon, Elma flies on the dragon's back and they both escape the wild island. And that's all for this novel summary. Thank you everyone, and I hope you can now read the short stories with a bit more understanding.